cell, we have the cell wall, which is made of cellulose, proteins, and other polysaccharides, and it maintains the cell shape while protecting it from damage. This wall of the hotel is like its cell wall because it protects the hotel from any weather damage and maintains a concrete shape. Right inside the cell wall we have the plasma membrane, which creates a barrier between the cell and its environment, and it regulates what enters and exits the cell. Like in a plant cell, these automatic doors determine who comes in and out of the hotel.
The nucleus is known as the control center of the cell. It houses chromosomes, and the pores regulate the materials, the entry and exit of materials. The front desk area represents this because they control the operation of the hotel. As for the nucleolus, which is located inside the nucleus, it is the site of RNA synthesis and
creates messenger RNA and other RNA molecules.
Okay, and the manager's offices represent this because they are in control of the operation of the front desk.
Right outside the nucleus, we have the endoplasmic reticulum, which is separated into the smooth ER and the rough ER. The smooth ER is responsible for synthesizing lipids, phospholipids, and steroids, and also detoxifying drugs, poisons, and the metabolism of carbohydrates. Just like the smooth ER in a plant cell, the computer system of a hotel sorts people where they need to go based on who they are. The rough ER, which is right beside the smooth ER, is studded with ribosomes and is responsible for the synthesis of proteins. These are kind of like the people who work at the front desk because they tell the people, the proteins, where they need to go. So, after leaving the rough ER, proteins are headed to the Golgi, which wraps up the proteins and modifies them by attaching sugars to them. And just like a Golgi, these luggage carts take the customer's luggage and then sorts it and then sends it off to the rest of the hotel, or in the case of plant cells, all throughout the membrane.
Chloroplast is a site of photosynthesis and converts solar energy into chemical energy and uses sunlight to create sugars and organic compounds. Chloroplasts are made up of thylakoids, each individual stack called a grana. Chloroplasts also have their own DNA, ribosomes, and enzymes. The kitchen is like chloroplast because it uses our energy to create food for the guests to use. Many types of vacuoles act as storage for water, waste, pigments, organic compounds, and materials that could be harmful if they accumulated. The plant's central vacuole helps maintain the shape of the plant, and like the vacuole, the breakfast area stores food that guests need on the daily.
Now we're at the mitochondria, which is commonly known as the powerhouse of the cell because it creates energy in the form of ATP through the process of cellular respiration. The mitochondria itself is broken up into two parts: the intermembrane, which lies between the outer and the inner membrane, and the mitochondrial matrix, which houses its own DNA, ribosomes, and enzymes. Just like the mitochondria in a plant cell, the electrical system of the hotel gives power to many parts. For example, the projection system, the TV, and the lighting.
Okay, the cytoskeleton supports and protects the cell while organizing organelles and their movements, and is made up of 3 different types of fibers.
The largest of the fibers of the cytoskeleton is the microtubule, and it's a large hollow tube that adds support to the cell and controls movement of organelles. So, here in the hotel, these divider walls would act as microtubules because they control the movement of guests and add support to the structure of the hotel as a whole. In between, we have the intermediate filaments, which are permanent solid rods that brace the microtubules. So, within these divider walls, the lumber or the metal that kind of supports it and makes it one solid sheet would be the intermediate filaments. And finally, we have the microfilaments, which are the smallest of the fibers and are permanent solid rods that add a pulling force. So within the walls, the water piping contracts down and the whole hotel has to build around it.
Thanks for watching The Cell Life with Allison
and Jerrica. Like, comment, subscribe, and we hope we didn't mitochondria you out of a good time.
But don't come apparatus if you didn't like it. Woo!